Hello and good afternoon. My name is Adetunji Omotola from Nigeria Diaspora Television. We are at Kitchen Vibes Restaurant, corner Vitkopen and Main, in the Four Ways area of Johannesburg. We're here to be part of a historic day in the history of Nigeria, which is the 22nd anniversary of the murder of Ken Saro Wiwa, one of the big, famous writers and environmentalists in Nigeria, who was assassinated by hanging on November 10, 1995. His demise and that of 8 other Ogoni men led to the sacking of Nigeria from the Commonwealth of Nations. Some of you may recall that at the time, Nelson Mandela was the president of South Africa, and late General Sani Abacha was the maximum ruler of Nigeria. As a result of the death of Ken Saro Wiwa, Nigeria almost became a rogue nation. So today what we're here to do is to first of all talk about who Saro Wiwa was, and also some of you will recall that last year his first son, also named Ken, passed away after he died of a heart attack in London at the age of 47. The irony of it was that Ken Saro Wiwa, Ken Sr., as he was referred to, was born in October and died in November. His son, Ken Jr., was born in November and died in October. So it's quite a mysterious situation for the same family to die in so close proximity of the time that they were born. So what we're doing today is to capture the spirit of Ken Saro Wiwa in terms of what he fought for, what he died for, but also to talk about the UN report on the cleanup of Ogoniland. The figures being bandied around between $1 billion and $50 billion. And we know that this new administration, the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, has earmarked as of last year $10 million to begin the process. In fact, they started the campaign in a place called Bodo, B-O-D-O. So that's what we're here to do, to look at the current state of the cleanup and to see whether there's been improvements, because even the water has been regarded as the taste of the water in some of the areas that are worst affected is bitter. It's not tasteless, it's bitter. And aquaculture can't grow, there's no fish, there's gas flaring, the water is polluted, people can't farm. So in spite of the wealth of Ogoniland, a land of about 600,000 people, we still have a lot of poverty, and a lot of people cannot continue to carry out the lives that they would love to carry as we do. We drink water every day. So this is what today, the 10th of November, 2017 will be about, where we unpack the story about Ken Saro Wiwa. And also what is important though is to share with our viewers that there was actually a payout by Shell. $15 million was paid to the family of the 9 Ogoni men that were murdered. But also over and above that, another $50 million was paid to the community. But when you look at the size of the amount of money that has to be used to clean up Ogoniland, between $1 billion and $50 billion, we know that $65 million is a small piece of the pie. So we're hoping that friends of Ogoni, friends of Nigeria, should get a copy of this report. It is online, it is very detailed, and it breaks down in very careful detail the communities that are worst affected, the type of pain and suffering they're going through. Women, farmers, children suffering from asthma, nights becoming day because of gas flaring. It's a serious environmental problem. And one of the things that gives us cold comfort is that climate change has become a major issue. We are remembering Ken Saro Wiwa after 22 years of his passing, of his murder. He was actually put in an unmarked grave and doused, his body was doused in acid after he was hanged along with 8 other Ogoni activists. What are your thoughts about this great man?
I think first of all, it's an opportunity to be here and honor what Ken was for us in Nigeria. He was a freedom fighter, a selfless activist, an icon, and one of the leaders that created a path to our current democracy. And I'm very honored to be part of those honoring him today. I think for us to get a path for our future and our history, we need to honor those leaders that have created the road and the path where we find ourselves. Ken had been in the struggle, and he took it very personal to fight for his people, the Ogoni people. And one of his fight was about the destruction of their land by oil exploration and benefits that come from those proceeds of extracting oil to his people. And from the information we have, that fight is still ongoing. But we're pleased about his struggle, and we know his death was not in vain. And I'm proud, to say that I'm proud to be marking his demise, his death today.
Given the devastation in terms of the environment in Ogoniland, the United Nations has come up with this report to say that the initial capital that needs to be used for the cleanup is $1 billion. And the current government has only donated $10 million. So we have a gap of $990 million. What do you think the government should do in the moment that can show that they're serious about cleaning up Ogoniland?
Look, the Ogoni issue is a very sensitive issue to me and the people of the Ogoni people. First of all, I like to say that it doesn't matter their population. And I like to say a problem in the Ogoni area is not peculiar to just the Ogoni people. It's spread along a lot of other regions in the Niger Delta. The government itself has to show compassion and interest about the health of these people and their environment, their livelihoods. If you understand, there are a lot of foreign companies, multinational companies, benefiting from the resource of these areas and polluting for several years. There should be proper engagement, not just engagement to reach a few in those society and leave the large population suffering. There must be an intervention, and that was one of the fight Ken himself was fighting for.
We know that in a few weeks' time in Nairobi, the United Nations Environmental Program will be hosting a massive session around the environment. I believe it's from the 3rd to the 6th of December. So we suspect that our minister, the Nigerian Minister of Environment, will be there, and many stakeholders in the Nigerian environmental space will be there, and perhaps even communities like those in the Ogoni, parts of Nigeria and the rest of Niger Delta, to put pressure on global players in the environment space to be able to begin to resolve this problem, because we know there's a link between militancy in the Niger Delta and deprivation. And that deprivation, there's no deprivation that is worse than when the environment has been destroyed, when life comes to a halt, when there's so much oil spillage that the entire waters have been polluted by oil slicks. And that is why we're here today. And today for us is Ken Saro Wiwa Day. In as much as we're not from Ogoniland, we're Nigerians and we're passionate about people who fight for their own people. So that's what today is about. We thank you for watching Nigeria Diaspora Television.